Hi, guys. Welcome to or welcome back to the Storytime Society, where we get together and I tell you some stories from Reddit and we just have a cozy little fun time together, whether that be a sleepover or like a morning. I don't know, what do we do in the mornings? Morning little story time or an afternoon break or something. I don't know. But yeah, let's get into story time. It is really rainy out today and it's really nice. I love it when it's rainy for story times because I don't know, it just puts me in the vibe of like being a little storyteller and like it's just a nice little sleepy time vibe, like cozy and nice. I don't know. I feel like I think I said this last time. I literally feel like I'm living in Forks from um Twilight because it has been raining for the past week. But we leave on our cruise tomorrow. It's Thursday when I'm filming this. I filmed an extra couple episodes just so I'd be safe because we'll be on our cruise Friday to Monday. And this episode is going to be coming out on Tuesday. So happy Tuesday. But I just won't have time on Monday when we get back to film in order to get the episode up on Tuesday. So not like you guys need to know all that jargon. But that's the tea. And yeah. So get your drink. I have my freshly made iced latte. Literally so yummy. Hazelnut is my favorite, all-time favorite flavor. And I don't know, we have like so many syrup flavors. We have chocolate chip cookie dough. We have so many. But for some reason, it's just this hits so different for me. Like hazelnut has always been my favorite no matter what. So I was really pissed when Duncan got rid of it. Like truly. They were so rude for that. But yeah, subscribe, like, comment, because you guys know I always love talking to you guys, and share with a friend or something. I don't know, you don't have to, but that would be really nice. And let's get into story time today, darlings. All right. My 29 female boyfriend, 29 male, recently passed away, and I found things that point out that he may have been cheating on me. I don't know what to do. Should I investigate further and find the truth? I feel like this one's going to be juicy for some reason. I mean, the title, obviously, but like there are updates too. So the original post was made April 3rd, 2024. So I was with my boyfriend for 3 years. We had a beautiful and perfect relationship. He was a wonderful man in every way. And just a month ago, he died tragically and unexpectedly. Both his family and I have been devastated and inconsolable for this. We were going to move in together and he was taken from me. About 2 weeks ago, her mother approached me. Oh, wait, why did I think it was a guy? My 29 female boyfriend, 29 male. What? Wait, sorry. Okay, fuck, I'm so stupid. About 2 weeks ago, his mother approached me. I think she meant to write. About 2 weeks ago, his mother approached me with a box that she found while cleaning his room. He would occasionally visit her, and he used to stay overnight, so his room was kept intact, like when he lived there permanently. She had decided to tidy up and clean his room because she was in a better state, and she found a box with the initial of my name. She didn't open it, but she could see superficially that there were things like letters, some dried roses, among other things, that she decided not to look at further because thought they were my things or about us, so she thought it would be best to give it to me, and I could review those things alone. I thanked her, but I didn't feel ready to see all these things, so I put the box away. A couple of days ago, I went to visit his grave. As I got closer, I could see a woman there. I immediately stopped so I could see if I could recognize her, but it was not a family member or a friend. She brought flowers, and I could see that she was crying. I was afraid to approach since I didn't know who she was, and I simply waited at a safe distance. She left after a few minutes and didn't even turn to look at me. Well, it seemed obvious to me that I don't know her. That whole night I couldn't sleep thinking about this woman. Who is she? Where did she know him from? I knew all of his family, friends, and people from his work, and I didn't recognize her from anywhere. I couldn't be calm or sleep those days because I thought of many possibilities, and he was no longer there, so I couldn't ask him. I decided to go to his friends and tell them what happened. As soon as I described the woman, They looked at each other nervously and seemed to know who it was, but they didn't say anything. I insisted and I cried a lot. I told them that I deserved to know if I had the wrong image of my boyfriend. Finally, they told me that it was his ex, and one of them confessed to having informed her about his death and his resting place because he believed that he would have liked it if she went to see him, and I felt like my heart fell to my feet. I asked everything I could, and it turns out they had studied together since elementary school, and my boyfriend had been in love with her since then. In high school, they started a relationship that lasted approximately 4 years, and then they were on and off until just 2 years before we started a relationship. He told me that according to what they knew, they had cut off all contact 5 years ago, but they didn't know for sure if this was true. I asked him for his name, and his name begins with the same initial as mine. So now I don't know what to think. I don't know if I should contact her to ask if she was with my boyfriend at the same time as me. I know that the first thing I should do is check that damn box and see if there are any of my things or things about her, but I can't. I'm so afraid of destroying this image I had of my boyfriend, of the man I thought he was. I don't know what to do. I was already devastated to lose him, but now I could also lose all the beautiful memories I have of him. If I finally found out that he was cheating on me, his friends tell me to leave the issue alone because he is no longer here to defend himself. It's stressing me out that she keeps saying his when it's a her, when it's a her, and then she says her when it's a him, and I'm so stressed. I'm pretty sure she meant I asked what the initials were and of his name, and his name begins with the same initial as mine, so now I don't know what to think. I don't know if I should contact her to see if she was meant for boy. Why did she say his 2 times? And then before she called him a her, and I'm stressed because why are you doing that? I'm so sorry. Okay, I need to look at these comments so that I can see if like people are commenting anything, because I mean, I know it's not like that big of a deal, but how can you mess up that many times on like, because then it just made me confused about the story. I kept thinking like, oh, is this like a male and a male, or did I like read the title wrong and it's the male talking about the female? And then I kept getting mixed up. But no one's saying anything in the comments, so whatever. I'm just gonna read some of the relevant comments. This is like cross posted on a different post, so it has like all the relevant comments from the original post, if you know what I mean. So like they put these themselves. They don't include all the comments, but there is comments on this post as well. I don't know if that makes sense. Okay, so relevant comments. This seems above Reddit's pay grade, honestly. Have you thought of finding a therapist who has a lot of experience in grief? It sounds like you haven't gone into the box, so you don't even know if they were in contact. It's common to still grieve for your ex, even if you were no contact. It's also common to retain mementos from past relationships, especially young ones. My high school partner died a couple years ago, and even though I've been zero contact for years, I still went through some grieving. Did he give you anything to be suspicious of when he was alive? Yeah, I guess that really does make sense. I mean, if they were friends all throughout elementary, middle school, and then they started dating, and they dated for a significant amount of time, especially for being in high school, 4 years is a long time for being in high school. So like that definitely makes sense. Like I wouldn't be like upset if my God wait, what is it? God forbid my boyfriend passed away and like I saw his ex at the funeral, because they dated for like a few years, I think, and I don't know, like I feel like I would probably want to go to my ex's funeral as well, because we ended on good terms and we were good friends after that, like for a good amount, like a year or two after that. But then obviously like I got in a relationship and he got in a relationship, and that's like, I don't talk to him because I'm not gonna like disrespect my boyfriend and be like best friends with my ex. But yeah, I think that makes sense to me, but we'll see if that's really what it's about or if it turns into something worse. Because I don't think that her first thing should be that like he was cheating. Because there's more, there's a lot of people that grieve. Like, even if an old friend of mine that I haven't talked to in a few years passed away, but I was like best friends with throughout high school, I would still be very upset, and I'm sure I would probably cry like a good amount. Like I'd probably be grieving for a while. But Okay. She responded, well, there was an incident when I found him on Instagram. When I found him an Instagram account that I didn't know about, but he told me it was one he had created to upload photographs of his work, so I didn't question it anymore. Other than that, as I mentioned, he was a wonderful man, but recent events are making my mind imagine many scenarios and I can't control it. Okay. This is June 6th update. Wait, sorry? June 6th? That was like a week ago. We're getting the recent tea. I'm very happy about that, but I hope she's okay also. For some context, this is my... Oh, no. Hi, it's been a little while since I was here. Totally paranoid about something absurd, to be honest. When I made the post, I expected a different reaction, like people saying, open the box, go and confront the ex-girlfriend. I was looking for support because I knew it was crazy. I'm very happy to have found such kind people who cared about me without knowing me. After posting, I really knew I wasn't okay and I had to take care of my mental health. The first thing I did was call my mom and tell her I needed help because I was going downhill. She came in less than an hour. That whole night, I cried in her arms. Afterwards, she helped me find out find out about a psychologist, and we also found a thanatologist. I don't know what that is. Is that like a grief counselor or something? We were able to schedule an appointment a few days later. So far, I had a few sessions. I won't lie and say I'm fine now because I still feel like life sucks for taking him away from me. And sometimes I feel like I'm floating disconnected out of the world, or I forget that he is no longer here. And my first instinct is to look for him or call him if something happens to me. It is being difficult, but at least I already asked for her help and I'm receiving it. So I'm in a better place now, but there's still a long way to go, and I know I have to do it without him. Regarding the box, I thought about returning it to his mom, but I really thought it was most likely about his ex. It was. And I didn't want his mom to feel bad for giving me something that wasn't mine. I decided to give it to his friend and for him to get her into the right hands. He has truly been a rock for me, even though he is also grieving because he lost his best friends. They were best friends since high school and studied the same in college. The general reason for this update is that a few days ago I spoke with her. I know that everyone was against contacting her, but it was not intentional, and the truth is, beyond hurting myself, I felt much better afterwards. I ended up seeing her again in the cemetery. I approached her at first. She just looked at me confused when I told her who I was. She just saw me the way everyone sees me lately, with pity. We were silent for what seemed like an eternity, and then she started telling me something funny about him. When he was a kid, she told me a lot of things that I didn't know about him. I must say she was very kind and sweet, and she is so much like him in personality, and maybe it's because they grew up together or because I feel so desperate to find him somewhere, but I really felt like they had the same way of speaking and the same sense of humor. Even though she was very afraid to talk about their time as a couple, it ended with me telling a little bit about them. She told me it ended me telling me. It ended with me. I'm sorry, but the way this is written is stressing me out. I'm guessing she means it ended with her telling me a little bit about them. She told me that for some reason or another, they were never able to fit together as a couple, even though they loved each other, so they decided to walk away before getting hurt. It turns out that the last time they spoke was 2 years ago when he wrote to congratulate her on her wedding. They didn't talk much beyond wishing each other the best. She told me that she was glad that he found a person like me and he had been happy. Also thanked me for the box. She said that it contains very valuable things for her. That was all. There was no infidelity, and she only confirmed that he was a wonderful person, and I was very lucky to have met him. The only thing that made me sad was that even though he was always the best with me, I came to doubt his integrity as a person. Now I just have to continue with therapy and try hard to learn to live without him. Thank you all. Okay, I need to go back and see. They were both 29. Okay, I was just wondering that for a second. I don't know, but I'm really that's really sad, and I don't like it at all. Every time I read something like this, it really stresses me out because then I just think about my boyfriend dying at like a young age, and then I'm like, oh my god, stop. And then I spiral into like, what will I do? Like, that would be terrible. No, I can't think about it or I'll cry. Stop. The way that I actually would like pass away, I think, from a heartbreak if that happened. I'm getting the chills just thinking about it. Okay, top comment says, from Google, a thanatologist is someone who studies death and dying from multiple perspectives: medical, physical, psychological, spiritual, ethical, and more. Professionals in a wide range of disciplines use thanatology to inform their work, from doctors and coroners to hospice workers and grief counselors. I was right because I used my context clues. I'm proud of myself. I didn't need to Google it because I was once an edgy teenager who knew Thanatos is the Greek god of death and totally did not use that as an MSN screen name in the 2000s. Wait, isn't... Oh, no. So the Thanatos is the Greek god of death, but isn't on Marvel the guy is named Thanatos? Is that supposed to be like an homage to Thanatos? Like, is he supposed to be kind of similar? Because he also is like kind of like the god of death in Marvel. I don't know if anyone cares about Marvel, but when me and my boyfriend started dating, he made me watch every single one of the movies. So I would say that I'm pretty well versed, honestly. My favorites, if anyone cares, Doctor Strange, and I like the Thor movies, but Doctor Strange is my ultimate favorites. Like, I really love Doctor Strange. I think it's just because I've always loved like magic things and like witchy things, and I think it's so cool to, I don't know, like the other movies are just kind of like, they're fine, but some of it's just too fake for me, and for some reason like the magic stuff seems real. Like, I just feel like that could actually maybe happen, like maybe even on another planet, like there are witches and stuff, or I mean, I think there are maybe witches here, but not in that way. I feel like, I don't know, maybe, actually. I've always just loved stuff like that, like mythological things. Like, I was obsessed with Sabrina the Teenage Witch when I was growing up. Not to say that's like the best, most Emmy-worthy witch show, but I really loved that show so much. Like, I was obsessed with it. And I still watch it sometimes. Okay, let's see. I'm happy to hear OP is able to get some closure. I'm wishing her the best. I'm so sorry for OP's loss. The only bright spot was that he wasn't cheating on her before his passing, so she continued to look at their memories fondly. Yeah, it would really be terrible if she found out that. Like, I wonder what the feeling would be. Like, what would the feeling be if your boyfriend or your like husband passed away, and you were obviously grieving because you're like they were the best, you look at them like they're so amazing and you think the best of them, and you like are grieving because you're so sad that you lost them, but then you find out that they were actually cheating on you for like a year. And then what? Are you like F you, or are you like, I don't know. I wouldn't want to know, but I would want to know, and I would never want anyone to go through that. But I know that there are people that have, and I would like to know like what they felt. Like, did that help them, or did that hurt them even more? Like, was it like made it so much worse and they just were so much more sad, or was it kind of like, well, did it like speed up the grieving process because you were like, I guess I don't even know who they are, so F them. You'd probably, I'm sure you would still be sad because it's someone that was important to you that passed away, but I feel like it might propel you a little bit in your grieving process, but I don't know. Okay, let's read this one because it sounds crazy. My mother-in-law doesn't let me have sex with my husband. Trigger warnings: controlling behavior, emotional manipulation, emotional abuse, death of a parent, imminent death, and cancer. Original post was October 6th, 2023, and I think there's a new update that was June 6th. Apparently people love to update on June 6th. All right. My husband and I got married a year ago. He and I didn't live together before. And wait, sorry? Okay. My husband and I got married a year ago. He and I didn't live together before. In fact, we hardly saw each other because we both worked and studied at the same time, so our time was quite limited. We got married and went to live together in his apartment. Unfortunately, 2 months after our wedding, his father died in an accident. My mother-in-law and my husband, who is an only child, were devastated as it was quite sudden. My mother-in-law, left alone, began to suggest to my husband that we move with her to her house to keep her company. But because she is from another state, we couldn't due to our jobs in college. Then she came to us. Our apartment is 2 rooms, so my mother-in-law occupied one and my husband and I occupied another. I mean, my mother-in-law never liked me. She is one of those mothers who think that no woman is good enough for her son. As a couple who are still in the honeymoon stage, we have sex very frequently, every day, even up to twice a day. This changed when my mother-in-law arrived since the apartment is small, so I didn't feel comfortable doing it with her living there. The thing is that we did have sex with my husband. What? The thing is that when we did have sex with my husband, my mother-in-law magically interrupted us. It didn't matter what time it was, even if it was 3 a.m., she casually got up and knocked on our door asking, "What are we doing? Ew?" Or telling my husband that she feels bad because her head hurts or something like that. This has been going on since my mother-in-law moved in with us. It's been a stressful 7 months. Besides, I have no privacy of any kind. She criticizes everything I do, especially my food. My husband tries to give me my space, saying things like, "It's not true, Mom. The food tastes good." What really annoyed me was the fact that she started saying that several things of value and money were lost in her room casually the day I stayed home. I had the day off from work and study in the afternoons. I really got fed up. I told my husband that this really wasn't what I expected when I agreed to let her move in with us. I agreed because my father-in-law passed away and I was really trying to be empathetic to her and her pain. But I'm not going to let her call me a thief. Now I'm at my parents' house. My husband keeps calling me and sending me messages to come back, but I don't know what to do anymore. This is really stressful. Sorry, but mother-in-law just got to go. I'm sorry that you're grieving, but if you're not going to be a respectful human being to someone that is literally like letting you stay in their house, then you can literally kick rocks, like for real. This little queen. Like, no thanks. She's probably going to try to play with the little cords, I bet. That's crazy. So some relevant comments. Is your husband fine with that too? Does he want a sexless marriage, or would that for him and mother-in-law be an excuse to have an affair or tell you it's your fault because you're not a good wife? She accusing you of stealing would be the moment where I would have kicked her out and tell husband to go with her. He doesn't show you any respect, and neither does she. Sometimes it really needs to hurt to make space for change. You accepted way too much. Talk to him, but make a list of all the things that she has done. Don't let him interrupt you, and then tell him to show you all the things your parents have done to him. I'm pretty sure that list isn't long. Show him how unnormal his and his mother's behavior is. OP commented back, "I don't think so. He seems pretty frustrated since we stopped having sex, but he doesn't try to start anything either because he knows that his mother is going to interrupt us anyway. After she interrupts us, we no longer continue." Well, yeah. Way to ruin the mood, Glenda. I don't know what her name is, but she seems like a Glenda. No offense to any Glendas. November 6th, 2023, 1 month later. Hello, good evening. Thank you all for your advice and comments. I wanted to give you a little update. I returned with my husband last Thursday. While I lived with my parents, we were talking and seeing each other. The first time I agreed to him, I'm sorry. Why? I'm so sorry. I'm being crazy with my reading today. While I lived with my parents, we were talking and seeing each other. The first time I agreed to talk to him, I told him that he really had to do something about his mother because our relationship was going down the drain. He kicked his mother out. She didn't take it so well. Remember how I told you she wanted to sell her house? Well, she actually did. She put her house up for sale. What surprised me so much is that she listed her house for sale at well below the average cost considering where that house is located. Apparently, she was about to close the deal with some potential buyers. She hasn't communicated with anyone since she left. We also don't know if she returned to her house. And now everything is fine. My husband also thanked me because he couldn't stand having his mother in our apartment anymore. I also made it very clear to my husband husband that if his mother had behaved differently, I would never really have minded if she stayed with us. I feel a little bad for her, but she really brought it upon herself. I was always kind despite her treatment. Thanks, guys. The thing that annoys me is that how do people not have like self-awareness? Because I know for a fact that if I was staying with my son and his wife, like I would just feel really guilty the whole time. Because I'd be like, oh, I'm like interrupting. I'm like intruding in their space. And I would be so respectful and so kind, like as possible as I could be. I'd be trying to contribute as much as possible. Like I would want to cook meals for them, clean for them, especially because I'm sure she's just like staying there, right? Like she doesn't work. I don't know. I'm assuming because she picked up and moved to a different state and just like that. Okay, new update, which is June 6th, 2024. Hello, it has been several months since the last update. Long story short, my mother-in-law returned to our apartment. After my husband kicked her out, she didn't contact us for about 2 months. Then she began to resume communication with my husband. 3 months ago, we received the news that my mother-in-law was diagnosed with stage 4 stomach cancer. My husband asked me to move her mother back with us, and given the situation, I accepted. But she continues with the same attitude from the beginning, and now it is worse since she needs various care and I must take care of her. I quit my job to take care of her full time. We are drowning in debt since my husband's salary is not enough to cover all the expenses. My husband suggested putting my mother-in-law's house up for sale again, and she refused, saying that it was the only thing she had left and that she wanted it to be my husband's inheritance. What? Okay, that is very convenient of her to be getting stomach cancer at this time and moving back in. And the fact that this girl quit her job to take care of her when she literally treats her like shit is crazy. I understand because you're like, okay, this is my mother and she's probably going to pass away soon, but I'm sorry. If she's going to disrespect her like that, there's no reason. Like, she can get care somewhere else. She needs to. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be rude and morbid, but like, that's not fair for this. First of all, for them to be drowning in debt because she quit her job to take care of this woman that literally is a POS. And then second of all, she's so rude. So like, hello? And then also like sell your house and then maybe use that to like move into a care, I don't know, like a nursing home or something. I don't know what the vibes are with that, but no. Or she just needs to like suck it up and stop being a literal biatch. Relevant comments. OP responds to several questions on if her mother-in-law really has stage 4 cancer or she is faking it. I was going to say that, but I didn't want to sound like ridiculous and like really rude because it seems very, very convenient of her to be getting stage 4 cancer, almost like she doesn't have stage 4 cancer, but who am I to say? Yes, she really has it. She is not tolerating meals. I must help her go to the bathroom and shower as well. She just sits on the couch and screams to ask and demand things. Most of her family on her mother's side have died due to liver problems and stomach cancer. I understand that she has also had problems tolerating food, but she was not very keen on going to the doctor either since she liked to self-medicate to relieve stomach pain. And she is really already very bad. She needs help for almost everything. Even with going to the bathroom, she wears a diaper at night. She eats like once a day because she doesn't tolerate anything. And no, unfortunately, she does not have health insurance. Because of the free healthcare in my country, they didn't really do much. They also did not give a prognosis. They reinstated her on some painkillers, but it really doesn't help anything anymore. It also is obvious that she won't be long. I'm imagining she's meaning to say that she's like gonna pass away soon. I wonder where this girl lives. But also, that's so annoying that having free healthcare just like, it's almost like, would you rather have free healthcare? I don't know if this is even like right. I'm just thinking that this is how it is, like usually free, since countries have free healthcare. That probably means that the healthcare isn't that good because, like, capitalism, right? You like obviously here it's way better because the doctors and the nurses have motivation to go to school because they get paid a lot more. But then in these other countries, I'm assuming they don't get paid that much because free healthcare makes them not get paid that much. So then like healthcare is free, but then at the same time, like it kind of sucks. And then like here, healthcare is not free and like you're getting a lot more, but it's like not free, like really not free, like scary not free. Like you're going to be in debt for $1 million if you don't have health insurance and you're giving birth to a baby. Not free. But I don't know if that's right or not. That's just really annoying to me. Because it's like, what's the solution? Somebody help me. Can we just please stop with capitalism? I don't want to be rude, but what is the doctor's timeline for her dying? I think she said that she doesn't have prognosis, I thought. Stomach cancer is horrendous. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. It took my dad 364 days ago. Oh, that's sad. Yeah, I can't imagine. Stomach cancer would hurt so bad. I'm like allergic to eggs, but not allergic to eggs. So I just actually have been struggling with this for the last few years where when I eat eggs, I have the worst stomach ache in the world. And it depends on like how raw and how cooked they are. So the more raw they are, like if I eat a soft boiled egg, my stomach, it will actually dissipate and I won't have one anymore because it hurts so bad. And it will take over my whole entire body. And then I will have a stomach ache for literally like, it's like a crippling pain too, where I cannot do anything. It's the worst feeling in the world. And then like if it's a boiled egg or like a fried egg, it's still like kind of hurts, but it's not nearly as bad. It's just like a little bit crampy feeling, and I still have to take like medicine, but it's not that bad. And then I recently started buying pasture raised eggs, which I'm under the impression that those are the best kind of eggs. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the pasture eggs are like the best out of like cage free and free range, because pasture is like they're actually like out in the open free, like they don't stuffed inside bad conditions and stuff. Ever since I started eating pasture raised eggs, I could eat it. I could literally take it as a shot, raw, and it wouldn't hurt my stomach. Not even not even the tiniest bit. Not a single stomach ache. Like I ate the most soft boiled egg, pasture raised, that I've ever eaten in my life. Like the yolk was yolking heavily. No stomach ache. I don't understand. Well, I do understand because like regular eggs are obviously raised in such terrible conditions, but I wonder what causing me to have the stomach aches with the regular eggs. But that was a great discovery to make because I love eggs and I was really stressed. But even like the only thing is obviously places out, like they don't serve you pasture raised eggs. So if I'm going to a breakfast place and I get eggs, I expect myself to I try to get them as cooked as possible, and then I still take like 2 Advil after because I'll still have a stomach ache because I know that they're not giving me no pasture raised eggs. Okay, what story shall we read next? Oh, wait, did we read this one the other day? I'm wondering. I don't think we did. But I'm scared that we did, and then I'm going to reading this over again. I'm just going to risk it for the biscuit because this is a good story. Am I the asshole for refusing to go to my best friend's wedding for replacing me as maid of honor? 8 months ago, my best friend of 5+ years, we'll call her A, 21, announced she was getting married and asked me, 21, to be her maid of honor. It was a no-brainer for me because we've been each other's best friends since middle school. We spent months looking at wedding dresses, bridesmaids' dresses, decorations, color schemes, going over the guest list, etc. At this point, everything was running smoothly and we were on great terms. She let me know up front I'd have to pay for my dress and pitch in for money with everything. I knew money was tight for her and her fiance, so I wanted to help, especially considering how close we were. Around 3 months until the wedding, we were at a get-together and were introduced to the GF of a friend of her fiance and my boyfriend. We'll call her L. A seemed to click with L immediately. They exchanged numbers and made plans to get coffee at a later date that same night. A week after the party, I'm on FaceTime with A, and she's basically gushing about L, going on about how cool and funny L is, about her career, about all the places she's already traveled at 20 years old, how it's such a small world because L's mother works with her mother, and A's cousin used to babysit L's little sister. All I could do was listen as she went on, considering I had no connection with this girl. I was happy for her that she met someone she seemed to have such chemistry with. Not long after, I started noticing abnormal distance from A. If I texted, it was at least 6 hours before I got a response every time. Other than, girl, can you text somebody back? Once, I didn't bring it up to her and I just brushed it off as stressed about everything involving her day. I started noticing pictures of Elle on social media and stories a lot. When she and I hung out, which wasn't much at this point, it was only to discuss wedding technicalities and what I would be contributing financially or other. These times were also usually cut short due to a prior engagement she had with Elle that she had to rush off to. At this point, the wedding was 2 weeks away. The morning of her bachelorette party, which I took the liberty of paying and throwing for her, something gave me the idea to ask if Elle was going to be a bridesmaid. She looked at me as if she had bad news to tell me. I've been thinking about this for a while, and I'm so sorry I haven't told you sooner, but I'm making Elle my maid of honor. Obviously, I was pissed, but I took this news with a smile as to not ruin the big day for her. Later that day at the party, I watched as A stood up with Elle and introduced her as her maid of honor. Most everyone clapped, but a few of our friends looked at each other and then at me. Everything about this went through me, so I stormed out. I haven't seen A in 2 months or even had a real conversation about what happened. I'm conflicted about whether or not I'm completely in the wrong. Please let me know your thoughts on this. Thanks. Okay, so this is what I think about this situation. This girl, she must have done things like this before, right? Like, this girl has to know that her friend A is not a good person, because there's no way someone that has remained a good person throughout all of your friendship would do this to you. Not saying that it's her fault at all, because it's obviously not her fault that her friend did this shitty thing to her, but I feel like it probably didn't come as a surprise, because it seems like she is the worst friend in the world. Like, I would love to know what other things she's done to her in their friendship, because I cannot imagine that she is a good friend at all. She's literally using this girl for her money to have her pay for everything, and then doesn't even tell her until she asks. She's like, oh yeah, sorry, I forgot to tell you actually, but you're not the maid of honor anymore. This girl is, that I just met like a couple months ago. Like, sorry? That's so rude. And that's like pretty much all I have to say about that. Because she's not wrong. I wouldn't be going to that freaking wedding either. I would be like, excuse me, pay me back for what I paid for. Thank you very much. And I will not be attending. And also, don't ever talk to me again. Okay, the top comment is, not the asshole. Send that bitch an invoice for the money you spent on her wedding. What a total asshole she is. Make sure all mutual friends know you paid for a lot of stuff and she hasn't paid you back. Don't go meekly into the night. Send her an invoice in your group chat. You probably have one with all the wedding party or group. Email them all. Payment arrangements must be made, or small claims. Yep, full on scorched earth with this relationship. A is a royal biatch. This should include anyone who doesn't side with you. Small claims isn't going to do anything. They'll consider everything a gift. Reddit always jumps to this. It's because most Redditors are morons who repeat stuff they see off other threads. OP isn't getting any money back, but I'd still go to Scorched Earth. That's so rude. I thought it was supposed to be a community. Like, why would you say that? That's so rude. Not saying morons. Like, sorry. I would also probably think that too. Like, oh, just go to small claims for it. But I know nothing about the law or small claims for that matter. Just make it clear that the money was paid to OP Just make it clear that the money was paid to OP, maid of honor, and as such, those charges should be reimbursed to OP. I don't give a F. With interest. Better yet, send the invoice to her new best friend L and CCA. It will keep the Zilla guessing and never knowing who exactly knows the ugly reality of her abhorrent behavior. L didn't do anything wrong. The only culprit here is A. Hard disagree. L should have said, no way, I will be your maid of honor. You already have one, and she is paying for loads. Plus, you have all that history. I'll happily be a bridesmaid. Yeah, I feel like that is very true. While it is mostly A's fault, I feel like if that happened to me, I would be like, I would want to have a conversation. I would be like, well, I feel like whatever this girl's name is, let's call her Jessica. I feel like Jessica's going to be super upset. Like, I think that since she's paid for so much stuff, you should just keep her as maid of honor. And she's obviously a great maid of honor because she's been organizing and paying for stuff. So keep her as the maid of honor and I'll be your bridesmaid. Like, what? It's not even that big of a deal anyways. I mean, maid of honor obviously is like definitely a bigger deal than being a bridesmaid. But when it comes to the wedding, like, it's not really that big of a deal in my opinion. It's just you have a lot more responsibility as maid of honor, but then like I would just much rather be a bridesmaid. I will attend the wedding with a dress on and stand next to you, and then all is well in the world. But I would say never talk to this girl again because she can actually kick rocks. My eyes are burning from looking at the screen, and also I have this light on because it's like so dark in here, and I didn't want it to be like so dark like the episode the other day was. But I think that's the last story we're going to do for today. And guys, I just want to apologize because today's reading was genuinely so bad of me. And I just want to let you in on a little secret that in 8th grade, I was in reading recovery because I was really bad at comprehension and reading, like really bad. So I had to take a whole class for the whole year of 8th grade. And let me tell you, I was so embarrassed because all my other friends were going to health class and I was going to reading recovery, and I never would tell anyone because I was so embarrassed that I had to go to reading recovery. I felt so stupid. And I had to use this like pipe. And by the way, if you've taken reading recovery, now that I'm older, I know that I'm not like a super loser idiot for that. It's just I was not that good at reading. It's okay. But I had to use this tube. I forget what it's called, but it was like, oh, what is it called? It's going to piss me off. It was like the tubes, it was like a pipe from like the bathroom, a PVC pipe or something, but it was in the shape of like a phone kind of, so that when you talked into it, it would go into your ear. And like literally it was just a hole, but it would just like lead the voice into your ear. And I would like sometimes during the class when we would have exercises and stuff, I'd have to use that little PVC pipe and read out loud to myself, like when I was doing like a little quiz about comprehension and stuff, and it would give me like passages to read, and I would have to read them out loud because reading them out loud like helps with my comprehension, which it really does. I definitely like when I'm reading silently, I get so distracted. Like I'm like, wait, what did I just read? So then I have to read back, and I won't comprehend it until like the 4th time. So yeah, that's a little secret about me. And sometimes like I've definitely gotten better at reading. Obviously, I'm 26 years old, but I think as time goes on, I'll definitely get better at like reading more smoothly, but also it makes it hard sometimes when they write things like the wrong way, which obviously like they're not writing a novel. It's fine if they make some mistakes, but for me, it's a little bit hard because then I can't read the sentence and then I have to go back like 4 times and then I get confused and then I probably annoy you all, especially like if someone came on here and they like didn't like me because I was like annoying to them or something, and then they still listen to the episode, I'm sure they would get so pissed. They would want to break their phone listening to me reading, especially today. So I do apologize, and I love you guys, and I hope that you don't hate me for that, but it's getting so hot in here. Holy shit. That's it for today's episode. I am going to go prepare for my cruise and pack and all that good stuff. Leave a comment and tell me what you did this weekend since it's Tuesday. Tell me what you did, anything fun or anything just not fun. Like if you had a relaxing time and you literally just sat on the couch and binge watched 89 episodes of something. Let me know. I want to know what you guys did. Obviously, you guys know that I have been on a cruise all weekend. So that's what I did. And I'll update you on Wednesday. Wednesday about it. When the episode comes out, I'll let you know like how the cruise went. If I didn't fall off the edge of the ship and get eaten by sharks, I'll let you know. Okay? Okay. Love you guys so much. And I can't wait to talk to you.